Welcome everyone, today we have a special video for Diablo 4, and in this video we'll be looking into the endgame of Diablo 4. And over here we have some questions and also answers, and also as you go through the video you're going to see a lot of interesting aspects of the Diablo 4 endgame, including Helltide, including random encounters of the Stronghold, open world PvP, and also the Nightmare Dungeons, Paragon levels. So in this video, I'll try to cover every aspect of the endgame for Diablo 4 into more summarized form, and in the future videos, we'll cover those parts in more details. And it's actually quite exciting to see what is available in Diablo 4 when you come to the endgame, getting to level 50, 70, and eventually to level 100. And also we'll have a look at how the job rates and also how the theme of the game and also itemization will affect the game. Now, if you guys have seen our previous video, which I was also posting this on Reddit as well, so if you guys want the notes of it, it is also on Reddit. Our previous video, we talk about the endgame, about what you're getting as the progress of the game. So in this video, one of the first questions I wanted to research is Diablo 4 going to become a daily grind, like a mobile game, which you have to log on dailies for the world boss and do things that is like based on the time? Now the short answer is likely Diablo won't become a daily grind based on the time, and here we have some additional information which I'll share with you guys. So previously, a lot of the questions were asked to the developers of Diablo, and this was from Rod Ferguson. He was saying during the beta that the drop rates for legendaries were scaled up by we don't know how much percentage. And coming from this and also more information, it seems like the drop rate of the world boss and also a lot of events in the game were giving additional legendaries than expected. So here we have a lot of more information from different beta players who actually played to the game to level 100, and also more information which I summarized for you guys. Now it seems like reports from the beta players is that the world boss, when they were playing the world boss, they tend to be dropping entry level loots to the end game. What that means is they will be dropping rare items and also legendaries which are actually quite rare from the world boss. So our world boss will be getting 3 or 4 legendaries per kill, and for them most of that is actually rare items, and those are basic grade rare items. And this means that the farm priority of Diablo 4 is actually focused on getting high graded items like the secret items, ancient items, and also uniques, which are mostly not coming from the world boss. And if you guys haven't seen our previous video guide, definitely have a look, because there we talk about at what level instance you get what kind of item drops and how this affect your status and also your effects for different items. So here, notice here there's level 1 to 50, level 50 to 70, and also 70 forward. And this actually shows what items you get onto those difficulties. So it's quite important you do have a look at the previous video to see what we're talking about. And as a quick summary, in case you haven't seen it, level 1 to 50, you get the basic items, and this unlock world level 3. At level 50 to 70, with world level 3, you'll be able to get unique drops of items and also chance for the secret grade of items, and this is the second tier of items. Now, because the world boss doesn't drop that grade, so this is one of the first reasons players don't farm the world boss for the end game. And finally, once you get to level 70, you'll be getting engine grade items, and this can be on the rare items, legendaries, and also uniques. And also you'll be getting new uniques that's added to the game for you to drop from. So the goal is to get to level 70 and start farming in some of the methods. And over here, the second part, we'll talk about the different methods of farming and which part is best for materials, for gold, and also for items. Now the second question I wanted to have a look at for Diablo 4 is that do I need a group of players to play Diablo 4 efficiently? For example, there's a lot of instances which you want a lot of people for the world boss and also for different events. And after having a look, it seems like the feedback from the beta players is that for the boss, the events, and also for the dungeons, it is helpful to have more players for different synergies and also different buffs, but it is not like an MMORPG like World of Warcraft, which you need a fixed team or party. And even for the world boss and also events that you encounter randomly, those can also be played solo, and you will encounter players as you play in different zones. And this also falls back that players will be changing servers as they go into different zones, and you will find players in your server which will participate those events with you, so you don't have to worry if you're playing alone. Now coming over to some of the more important questions about Diablo 4 endgame. So here we have a list of things that is done by the players in the Diablo 4 for the endgame, and I'll go through each of those with you guys. The first thing that you can do in Diablo 4 after reaching higher level is to go for bounty hunting. Now if you have played Diablo 3 before, bounty hunting consists of doing world events and also clearing dungeons, and this will provide you with a special loot box. So this is pretty much the bounty hunting in Diablo 3, that with the loot box you can get rare items, legendaries, and very rarely you can get unique items if you have the right world difficulty. The second thing you can do after getting to the end game of Diablo, after clearing the campaign and after getting to level 50, is that you can look into the progress of the original Reynos, and this can provide different rewards. So here we have some examples for the 40%, about 75%, and 100% completion of those. You can see we'll have a screenshot of the beta in-game. This has changed since the previous betas. So previously we were getting 3 skill points and also different perks. So at the moment during the open beta, we were getting 2 skill points, 4 paragon levels, 1 potion charge, and also 80 gamble opals, and also some additional gold for each of the regions. And this is for 5 different regions. And of course, this is more like an achievement collection, and most players are not expected to finish very quickly about all of the level unlock. Most players will get to level 3, about 40% of the Reynos, about 900 is enough to get that. So about 900 Reynos to get your 2 skill points. After that, to complete more of that, to get everything for the 4 paragon points, it will take definitely longer time. Because each of the zones will have a lot of side quests, a lot of discoveries, and also a lot of statues of Lilith, and also different stronghold and war points, and also different areas to discover. Now the third in-game gameplay players can participate will be the Helltide event. This event unlocks at world level 3. And if you guys don't know when that gets unlocked, make sure you come back to this video, which will talk about how this gets unlocked, which dungeon you have to do to get to the next level. So as for the Helltide event, a brief summary is over here. If this gets more complicated, we'll make a dedicated video for this one. So as you travel around the world, a red portal will appear, which can spawn monsters. So by interacting with the portal, you will spawn monsters, a lot of monsters. And as you kill those monsters, they will drop something called a Aberrant Cinder, which is a special item used to open a special chest. And usually it takes about 50 of the cinders to open one chest. And this chest usually contains gold, rare gears, and also potential for legendaries and also unique items. And this also contains rare crafting materials. So one of the examples I want to show you guys is going to be the Fiend Rose. So it is likely this item, which will have a dedicated video to talk about crafting, this item drops from this particular event, and this item is going to be quite useful in re-rolling your stats for your legendaries. Now similar to the third event, the next particular event is also a random encounter for Diablo 4, and this is about the Contest of Stronghold. As you travel across the map, at the end game, you will see NPCs asking for help, and this will also spawn a group of monsters and also a mini-boss. After killing everything, you'll be getting some Reynos, about 100 I think, and this also unlocks war points and also NPCs for you to trade with. This also provides a very decent gold reward, so the beta players were mentioning that this is a good source of gold for them to get for the end game. Now one thing to notice is that some of the random encounters will have a permanently freed stronghold, and this means you can always travel back to the stronghold. Other events will include a stronghold that is contested. So what that means is, after clearing out the monsters, maybe after a few hours or maybe after 3 days, those strongholds can become lost, and you have to reclaim this again, which allows the players to farm for gold and also additional loot by doing this. Now again guys, I'm trying to give you a brief summary of all the parts of the endgame for Diablo 4, but in the future videos we'll talk about different parts in more details. So coming over to the next part, I'm sure you guys are pretty excited for this one, Open World PvP. So for Diablo 4, it is said there will be a special zone that is set for non-stop PvP. And during the beta, I've heard some of the beta players say that, the Barbarians, also Necromancer, had a bug which made them super strong in PvP, and they were almost unkillable. And the players were reported to say that PvP was actually really fun and also really messy, because it seems to be like a free-for-all zone and everyone can attack anyone, and it's very chaotic. So you can be, having fights with 1 vs 1 like rogue versus rogue, but most of the time you'll be fighting like 1 vs 4 and everyone's hitting each other. So this actually do favors a range class, but as melee classes, the Barbarian can actually have lots of unstoppable, and that was actually make things quite interesting. You can be double killing, triple killing, or pentakilling. So during the PvP, we also noticed that there is a currency that was showed and also teased in beta, and this currency is called a red dust. So I got an image from MaxRogueGG. Now it is likely this currency is used and also gained from PvP, and what we're speculating is this currency will be used for purchasing skins and also other items in the shop. So this could be quite interesting. You will be getting different rewards for PvP, and you might be getting some special gears which makes you look different, or maybe special mounts because of those red currencies. Now on the topic of getting different mounts and so different skins, so another things players can do at end game or at any stage of the game is to actually farm for rare mounts and also for rare skins, and also to unlock achievements. So I know there's a lot of players that to clear everything in the game, right? And there's a lot of mount that is collectible in the game with hidden quests and also different special zones. And in the future, if we have enough information, I'll make a video to show you guys where the mounts and how to get more skins. Now over here I added some of the images from the open beta where one of the players was reported to got a very rare mount skin from the treasure goblins. And here you can see some of the images of the skin that is purchasable in Diablo 4 in the cash shop. So I'm not sure exactly if we can use the red dust to buy those, but we'll talk about this in a future video when we have more information and whether it's worth it to buy different skins. Now coming over to the most important part of the endgame for Diablo 4, and this is coming from the Nightmare Dungeons. And this will start after world level 3. So upon reaching level 50 and also unlocking tier level 3 for the world levels, we'll be dropping Nightmare Sigils, and we can see those sigils as a key to open different dungeons. Upon using those sigils, depending on the sigils level, I do believe they can go from 1 to 100, so there's a lot to grind from. So depending on the different sigil levels, all of the normal dungeons will now be turned into Nightmare Dungeons on your map. And what happens is, as players travel to those Nightmare Dungeons, monsters will be given special buffs and also special effects, like super fast, extra health, mortal, or maybe cold, or maybe freeze. So if you guys remember the super tags with Diablo 3, monsters will be given those tags to make the dungeon more challenging. Now why would we want to do those dungeons is that the higher level Nightmare Dungeons we can do, up to 100 level, this will provide us with higher drop rate for secret and also engine grade items. In the previous video, we talked about those were finalized the last 2 tier of items that is available for the game. And the secret and also engine items can be dropped for rare items, can be dropped for legendaries, can be dropped for unique items. And this is going to be a big factor into crafting those Nightmare keys and also upgrading this from level 1 to 10, level 10 to 20, all the way up to level 100. And this will be the ultimate challenge of the in-game players into clearing out most of the dungeons, getting more gears, and getting onto the leaderboard. So coming over to a last point, which will be farming for Paragon levels and also experience farming for Diablo 4. As you guys know, for Diablo 4, you'll reach your maximum level for the skill points at level 50. And this is when you do the campaign and also you do a special dungeon to get to world tier number 3. And after that, you will be going for the max Paragon level at the level 100. So as said in the beta, we can gain 4 Paragon skill points for each level from level 50 to level 100. And this will add up to 200 Paragon points for additional skills and also perks we can get from. Now one example I want to show you guys is, if we come to the Diablo builder over here for the Necromancer, you can see there's a variety of different Paragon levels and different Paragon trees that you can choose from. And usually you start from the middle and you'll be flipping them into different Paragons that you wanted. And if we look closely, you can see one of the examples over here for the Necromancer is while there is corpses nearby, you'll gain damage reduction. And when there are no corpses, you'll get increased damage. So there's a lot of legendary perks on the Necromancer, which we can be perking into similar to most of the classes. And this is how you plan and adjust your build in the endgame, which can make a lot of different builds even more potent and more strong. So that is why, coming back to this point, a big focus set from the beta players is to farm experience and also get as much experience as you can in Diablo 4 in getting to a level 100. So this means we'll get at least 200 points for the Paragon points to be spending on a lot of different trees, and you can be also adding glyphs and also getting special perks and also special things we can gain. So there's a lot of good stuff. You can also get additional Paragon points from completing the Reno. So this comes back to the previous point. When you complete the final level of Reno for each of the regions, you'll get 4 more points. Now, because the Paragon levels and also points and also system is going to be very complex, you can see they're changed by different colors. The white ones are the basic ones, and then it goes to the blue ones. There's also the yellow ones with special perks which increase a certain aspect of your build. For example, this one gives minion life and also minion health. And there's also legendaries that allows your minion to do more damage depending on the type. So there's a lot of different perks which will go into a detailed video. And again, depending how you flip them and depending how you add different things, you can even add glyphs to give overall percentage bonus to different perks you have. So this reminds me of Path of Exile, and this is going to get very complicated. We'll definitely have a dedicated video to plan out the build for level 100. And I'll do this for each of the classes, and maybe for popular builds, we'll do 1 or 2 of those as well. So as we get to different classes to level 100, you first perk out your 50 level of the skill trees, and then you look into the Paragon levels for different buildings and also, make things more interesting. Now, if you guys are like me, looking for more information for the Diablo endgame and also the progression, there is a post from Adam Fletcher, and he was talking about the April, which we're expecting a live stream about the development update from the developers of Diablo. So quite excited for this one, and I'll keep you guys updated when this is coming, and we'll have a summarized video for this once this comes out. Now, hopefully you guys find this summary helpful, because over here I do have some questions and also answers I was concerned about Diablo, so I wanted to do that research first. After that, I want to go with you guys step by step what are the available things you can do at the endgame, and you'll be picking the things that you enjoy or that you want to do. Maybe you are looking for gear upgrades, and then we're looking into maybe Nightmare Sigils, and maybe you're looking for farming uniques or gold and also Paragon points, and maybe we're looking into farming strongholds and also different events. So a different variety of things we can do in the endgame. Maybe you want to collect rare herbs and also, elixirs. Maybe you want to go for the months or maybe achievements. So in the future, I'll have a special video for each of those parts to provide you guys with more information and also to prepare us for the launch. Now, before you go, and if you guys didn't know, we have a new YouTube channel. And if you guys haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe and check out the behind the scenes and also fun clips and also more stories about us. And then you get to know me a little more personally instead of just reading the news and also the games, right? So I want to share a little bit more with you guys. So make sure you check this channel out if you're interested about Matt and also Uni. She's really funny too, and she's really shy. So I want to give her a surprise and do a shout out for the new channel to get some subscribers. Thank you guys. I'll see you guys next time.